what's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I'm Shakira. Okay, um, so I've got some music playing in the background that you guys can't hear, so if you see me doing some weird singing and jamming out, don't be alarmed. Anyway, so I figured I'd take a quick look at yesterday's trades, which went relatively well for me, and talk you through my thought processes around it. And we can take a look at where I am with my 30 trade challenge to see how well I'm doing, and then do a little morning analysis and then get on with life. Okay, if that sounds good, hit the like button. And I'm gonna take this like 2 seconds. It's just gonna be like, not as cool if you can't hear it. I know, don't judge me, all right? One of my favorites from when I was a kid, Return to Paradise. I mean, Imperio, man. Next time I'll figure out how to add the music. All right. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about yesterday's trades. So I actually took two trades that I've been prepping for. And let's drop down to, let's see, all right. So up here is where I was looking for it. And actually I was looking at the 5 minutes for those. So let's dip back over here. All right, so for Ethereum, I was looking at this area where I was like, okay, so it's Thursday. Yeah. So I was looking at this area and I was thinking to myself, all right, we're in a supply area. After this drop, actually, what am I thinking? I'm sorry. Haha. Here is the CPI candle. So I was waiting for it to come into my supply area right up here. And I wanted it to make me a double top. So, and we can probably have this conversation about market structure, but you see what it did? It rolled up, it did that, it came back up, boom, 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 and then came back down, right? So that's what I was looking for. Like once it came up, I don't like trading the news myself because as a beginner, I've seen over the last few months that trading the news when it happens, especially if it comes out like 8:30 in the morning, and I usually trade the New York, sessions, right? So those open an hour later. So that's like a double whammy, really, right? So it's always a bad idea to be like, oh yeah, at least for me as a beginner, until I understand, what's happening. So I was like, look, let me let all of that play out. So it played out, boom. It did a little something. It started to like cool off. And then it came into my support resistance area here. And then I was like, all right. So I was waiting for a double top to form before I took a short. So I was hanging out on the 5 minute. Oh, this is the 5 minute. Perfect. So I was hanging out on the 5 minute here and it formed it, right? Look at it. It formed, let me take this off. So it formed the double top here. And somewhat of a swing failure because it's like a considerable swing failure. It didn't quite make it over it. It didn't close outside of the area. So I was like, okay, we're probably going down. So I actually put in a limit order for 13, I think. Let me take a quick gander over here. The open short for E, 1335.94. All right. That's my song. So 1335.94 approximately here with my stop loss above here. And I was actually aiming for, oopsie, let's do a little estimation there. It's actually aiming for all the way back down here. So about there, which it actually did come to, but eventually. But once it started to drop really like aggressively, and I was thinking about the fact that this could be a bounce retrace, right? So I was like, all right, cool. So what I did instead was I switched it into two take profit areas, right? I switched it to 1285 or 1287 around here, took my first profit there, and then moved my stop loss into profit at 1270. And just in case it rolled back up. and then left the second one to roll down to 1186 if it actually, got there. It didn't in yesterday's trading session anyway. So, that's the, my 1275 stop loss got hit after I moved into profit, and then my first take profit at 1285 worked really well. All right. And obviously, if I'd left it open and I set it to this next SR area, I would have done well, right? It would have come on, it would have retraced. And this part's scary for me. Still made a lower high here, which made me feel like it was going down again. So I'd estimated another area for a short, but the retrace never came back all the way up here like this one. This one did an M pattern instead. And I decided to stop trading later on in the day, so I didn't bother. So Bitcoin, same scenario. So let me do a little something. Go back up here. Sorry, it's not looking as juicy. I think I did a lot of my analysis of here it is, all the way down here. Perfect. Sometimes it's hard for me to see stuff from some areas. I'm gonna turn this music down because that is at a song I don't super care too much about, so switch it. All right. I'm probably gonna have to pause this one because I want to play it on high volume. You know those moments, right? Anyway, so here we have let's go to the 1 hour. Because I think the candle for the CPI was, about this one. Yep, about that one. So it's hilarious because I came in and I saw this morning star forming. I'm like, well, price is probably going to pop right back up because we're at a support area here. But I didn't trade it because I was like, it was right on top of this CPI data that's coming out. So, I mean, they could manipulate you and be like, rip it down and then rip it up or whatever. So I was like, nah, I'll wait and find structure and then trade that. I didn't pause it, y'all. I didn't pause it. I'm bad. Okay, I gotta stop. Pause. I can't focus. Anyway, so I found that when you see these chart patterns at key levels, they generally work relatively well, So I really should trust that. But once the CPI data launched, I was like, cool. So then I was looking at it on 15 minutes and I was waiting for another double top, right? And actually that formed, and I was staring at the 5 minute for this, right? So I was like, cool, this is awesome. And I was looking at this guy and I was like, all right, double top, swing failure. They're not going back down. And let's delete this because that was an estimation, which, if they were going to continue higher, which they didn't. So I was like, cool. So I was like, so what I did, because I wasn't going to be able to watch this one for the entry, I put in a stop limit order. And I'll show it to you over here. I put in a stop limit order for BTC. So if price passed 17.7, so if price got up to 17.7 through 32, then open the short at 17.605, right? So that's what I did. So it opened, where's 17.6? Yeah, so 17, if it came back down to this area, then open it just below it, like at 17.6 something, approximation, right? With a stop loss at 17.9 something, like about there. And again, I was looking to head down to this SR area, which it actually eventually got to, but I would have been stopped out because my stop loss was not above this thing, because I was super sure about this trade. So I was like, So anyway, once it entered, it meandered a little bit, and then it dropped beautifully. So again, I took my profits. I set my stop loss into profits, and then I took profit. Let's go back over here for the BTC. So I took profits at 17,270 first. That was my first take profit area. And then I set it into profit at 17,390. And then I just was like, let's let it play out. So it reversed because I was thinking, you know what, it's probably gonna be like a whoosh. So it reversed up and then I was out. So not a bad day, of trading, I think. All right, so we are at about 10 minutes into this video, and so maybe I should leave this one relatively short. And so my second potential trade for Bitcoin was a similar scenario as Ethereum, right? I was expecting the pullback, and if it couldn't close above this support area here and make a proper higher high, and it instead made a lower high, then I would look for a short. Again, I stopped trading after a certain hour because you know what? I was like, as you can tell, the poof is back. So I had to take my hair out at 5 o'clock, so I stopped trading. So I didn't get to like recheck all of this stuff, honestly. But that's all good. All right, guys. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I just wanted to share my analysis from yesterday's trade, but I do love um, the double tops in areas of key areas. And then, I do love market structures. I think in my next video, we'll talk about market structure a little bit more closely because that's, I think, the best way to trade, and market structure is rise, retrace, lower high, continuation. You know what I'm saying? This is all structure. This is all structure you can trade. So we'll talk about that next vid, right? Because I think as beginners, part of our problem is that we don't understand the structure well and where it could go and making our own personal predictions, right? So let's focus on that. All right, guys. I will most likely be popping on shortly to do that vid because I want to prep for, excuse me, I want to prep for trades after 10 Eastern Standard because I let all of the market manipulation that happens at market open go the way of the dodo. All right, y'all. Let me know if you have any thoughts or comments down below. What are your thoughts on limit orders, stop limits, and market orders? I found personally, I do not like the market orders because depending on the difference between the buy and sell in pressure, the spread when you click that market order can be really shitty and you do not get the best price. So I prefer limit or stop limit orders. Those just kind of make me feel a lot more comfy. All right, let me know your thoughts down below and hit the like button, even subscribe if, any of this is helping you in any way, shape, or form. Because as a beginner, I understand the struggle, y'all. But the whole point of me doing these videos is at least is one to keep myself accountable, right? So that means documenting my trades. Oh, and one last thing. Let me pop over to here. So yesterday's trades actually put me back. Actually, the last 2 days trading actually put me back in the green. So, I made 1622 and then lost it with a FOMO trade. See, stop doing that. And then the rest were well thought out. I had support resistance, breaker blocks, dragon fruit, double tops for the entries. It was very systematic. And my exits were based off of, okay, I feel like the market's about to do a retracement. So, get out with my profits, which were pretty decent. All right. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Happy Friday. I hope the weekends are amazing. It's warm but rainy here in the DMV. So, whatever you're doing, open those windows, get that fresh air, breathe it in. Mwah. Shakira out.